Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we're in the world which came with the Lovestruck expansion pack and we are building a 2x1 family home in kind of like the style that, I guess the inspiration for this particular build, there was two bits. This is actually a repurposed build. So I have a build that's on the gallery from when Lovestruck first came out, and I didn't record it. It didn't go onto the channel, but it was a build that I built in my personal time and just uploaded to the gallery. I loved it and I really wanted to recreate it. So this is kind of like a recreation of my own creation, if that makes sense. That the original is available on the gallery, so is this particular build. And what I really loved about this particular build was the simplicity of the structure. It was a very simple structure, but I loved the vibrancy of the colors. So Lovestruck came with these very kind of vibrant, playful, rainbow type colors. And they have matching windows and matching assets. And I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is like is it a Mexican styled world potentially? And yeah, just that like bright color. It's just lovely. So you can see that here. So obviously it is orange and pink. I think this pink is amazing. Oh, and a bit of the yellow. It's just really solid. And I think that I really am excited to do some more builds that use a little bit more color. I think I get really stuck in what I like, which is generally neutral tones. Anyway, the other inspiration for this particular build is actually the buildings behind where we are on this particular lot, specifically that pink and that blue and that greenhouse. It's just like a square type structure that doesn't necessarily have a traditional roof. That was the type of vibe I wanted with a lot of the windows. And I knew that I wanted to have the main living areas on the top floor. So the actual main front door is up that set of stairs onto that kind of balcony, and that leads into a open kitchen, dining and living and a study nook. And then downstairs is the 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, I believe. And then that opens up to the outside and you have a pool. And then you have a courtyard. So when I think of these types of almost like Spanish style builds, I think of a courtyard. So I wanted to do a courtyard in this particular build. And we really got these lovely tiled floor tiles, which you can see here, that came with the Lovestruck expansion pack. So I really wanted to use those. And again, as mentioned in Tuesday's build, a lot of the content for July this month is to kind of showcase the world. It is in a way kind of another form of, it's not a pack restricted build. Like I don't just use Lovestruck. We did do a pack restricted pack series. We did do that back from, it started like from Life and Death. So it would have been like October right through to February, I believe. So that is available on the channel if you'd like to see some more pack restricted build content. But this is kind of like, it utilizes a lot of Lovestruck, but it also utilizes other packs. But it kind of shows off the world. So I guess you do have to use the pack that it came with to kind of do that. Anyway, we're in the backyard and I put in a curved pool because I thought, why not? And I've used the Desert Luxe kit pathing. It's just my favorite pathing. It's just plain. It's just what to do when you're not sure what to do. I definitely could have used the colorful pathing, but I think I wanted to keep that for the front courtyard. Lovestruck, we did get the colorful pool trim, so I've gone in with that. The floating thing comes from For Rent. I think it's got like pineapples on it. So cute. And I kept this backyard very simple and actually not much to it. And that's because all of the fun is in the front courtyard. All right, so we're just kind of working out that kind of back section. I do play around with the landscaping a little bit. I think I just put some like lounge chairs out here and maybe a like umbrella thing. I'm not sure. The doors were interesting. I think because of the wall height, these formal kind of coloured front doors were the only doors that looked good from the exterior. All the other doors look really tiny, so I went with those. All right, we are inside now, and I've said this before, but I like to start with my stairs because it kind of helps me like picture how things are going to lay out, because the stairs have to be functional. That's your most important bit. So we are going to play around a little bit with that, and I think we are starting with the downstairs floor plan. All right, so that first bump out there you see is the bathroom. So you walk in and you obviously have like a hallway that leads from the front archways right through to that back door there, which is what I'm doing now. And then you've got the master bedroom and a second bedroom, which I think is for a child sim from memory. It's a decent sized bedroom. It's actually not that bad. But yeah, so I like that. And that utilizes, and this is the exact same kind of, it's not the exact same, it's a very similar floor plan to the build that I originally built when the pack came out, which is on the channel, which this is inspired by. All right, so Lovestruck, let's talk a little bit about that. So what kind of things did I really like with that? So obviously I've spoken about it. The wallpaper, I really like the floor tiling. I really love, obviously, the romantic feel that a lot of the assets have. I think that the gameplay of the board game and the kind of costume trunk, I love that little bit of gameplay. I think that's, nice to have in the game. But other than that, it's not my favorite expansion pack. The actual world itself is not the best to build in. The lots are not great. The lighting is kind of eh. But besides all of that, it's not my favorite pack, but I do utilize a lot of the assets. I'm trying to think of what build. Some of my Victorian builds, I use a lot of the assets. All right, we are upstairs. So this is that kind of open living space that I was referring to. So as I mentioned, I really like the idea that the main staircase is outside and it goes to the top floor of the property, which has that open living space. I've done that before in a similar build. I think I built like a family home and it's gorgeous. I built it years ago. That's also on the channel. I'll link it down below. And the staircase goes up to the top floor and I really like it. It's quite different. We use a lot of Jungle Adventure with the country kitchen kit. That's where this kind of colourful fridge and stove come from. I don't know how well that matches. I just went with it because it kind of was colourful. And I feel like I didn't really know what type of kitchen set would be in a home like this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I definitely should have put the fan. We got like a wall fan that came with Lovestruck. I don't know why I didn't include it. The kitchen would have been perfect for that. We do have a kettle which came with For Rent. We've got a bit of shelving, got some clutter items. I've used this couch. So this particular couch comes from, I want to say it's Movie Hangout. And that was a pack that had some really kind of eclectic, colourful, boho styled items. I've never used this couch, but it somehow fit this build. It fit that kind of vibrant, colourful nature that is with this build. Now, I must say, one of my favorite items from the Lovestruck expansion pack is this rug. And I'll tell you why. Because the shades that it come in, we don't have anything like it. So I find with the newer packs, we are getting a certain shade of green, we're getting a certain shade of red, we're getting a certain shade of orange, and we don't really have blue. Especially blue is another one where it's like we don't have the correct type of swatch in the older packs. So to have that type of rug, it pairs so well with other assets that are from newer packs. Businesses and Hobbies, Life and Death, especially Life and Death. And I guess that makes sense because those packs are pretty close together in terms of release. But yeah. All right. So we are going in with some kitchen clutter and just some general clutter. We've got a study nook going on. I used that wall hanging decor that came in a base game update. I thought that was really lovely. We've got a little bit of, I used a little bit of the kitchen clutter kit in this particular build. So when I built this, that was fairly new DLC at the time. I think I've spent quite a few months going back and forth on this particular build. It's been in the works for a while. But sometimes, like, when I release content, I want to make sure it's a bit cohesive. So, like, if it doesn't fit within the other builds of the month, I don't really post it. So I think that's why I waited for this, but I still really like this build. All right, in the end, I went with this base game flooring. I really like this wooden flooring. I've always liked it. I've used it quite a lot in more modern builds. All right, so speaking of the kitchen clutter kit, I've used that trolley. I really like this trolley. Sometimes I have a kitchen where it's not big enough for me to do an island, but it's too big for there to be nothing there. Like, there's too much negative space. So I really like this little trolley piece because it allows me to add something there that kind of makes it look like it's intentional. It's not an island, but it kind of looks like it's, I don't know. It works. It works in my brain. We are downstairs. So also, you might have seen upstairs, I just did that balcony as well. I really love those benches that I use. I feel like they're from City Living, which was another pack that came with a lot of kind of colourful assets and things like that. So that was really helpful as well. So down here in the downstairs, we have in your main hallway. So you walk in, you've got this open area where we've got the bookcase where I think we just put a buffet table. You then have your bathroom there, you've got your stairs, and then heading towards the back door of the property, you have a chest table, hanging plant, things like that. I use the plant, I guess the cluster of plants that came with growing together because it's a big item, but I felt like it fit this space and I don't really get to use that item a lot because of its size. So I was really excited to use that in that hallway, and we are just kind of working out the color scheme for the two bedrooms. So this particular bedroom is our master bedroom. This wallpaper, I believe, came with Lovestruck. Yeah, I think both of them did. I don't think I've used this particular swatch before of that wallpaper, so I wanted to give it a go. And then the child's room is a little bit more girly and pink and a traditional child's room that I standardly built. All right, we are in that front courtyard, so we're jumping a bit. I thought we were doing the bedrooms, but that's okay. Love this colourful bench. We've got a barbecue, we've got a ton of plant pots, and I think, yes, I love this picnic basket thing that came with Businesses and Hobbies. I really like it. I've put in the infamous kind of blanket, picnic blanket. That's, again, more gameplay from the pack. I put in a telescope because why not? And I put in the speakers undercover just because I do realize, like, when it rains, like, it breaks the speaker. I don't know why I keep putting speakers outside that are not covered. I do it all the time. Yes, I did put, like, an awning. I love this colourful awning. I try to think which pack it comes with. Does it come with Growing Together? Not sure, but I thought it fit really well with the landscape. Those actual chairs come from the Wedding Stories pack, actually. So that was quite interesting. This rug was perfect. So that was from Businesses and Hobbies. It was bright. It brought in the orange with a pop of blue, which I swear this particular build uses like all the colors of the rainbow. And I think that's what I like about it so much. We have gone in with the bed that came with Lovestruck, the bedside tables. These curtains are really lovely. These are from the movie Hangout stuff, I think. But they have like an elegance about them that I really love. And I think that this, like, as I said, the assets from Lovestruck are quite romantic. And I don't know, it just all fits. All right, I've gone in with some clutter on the dresser. This dresser comes from For Rent. And this mirror comes from Growing Together. It's quite a nice mirror. just pairs well with that particular. Oh, I put in a standing mirror too. Interesting. Don't know why I'm putting so many mirrors, but that's okay. We've got this little hamper thing that came from the Sleek Bathroom Kit. Just some basic clutter, some paintings. I really love that painting. I believe that is from Lovestruck, that particular painting. It's quite big, used up a lot of the wall space, so that was quite nice. All right, we are into the second bedroom, which is a child's room. This is quite pink and purple and just quite nice in here. Very standard. The bed comes from, I want to say, Dream Home Decorator. Used like the little timer thing that comes from alarm clock that comes from high school years dresser. Put in some toys. I love those candles that come from Lovestruck. I love the colors. I love the texture. So I've added that in. I don't know if like candles in a child's room is not really the thing to do, but I've done it. They've got a laptop, so maybe they're like a teen. I don't know, but there's a toy box. I just really love that toy box. So I've added that in there. And I'm just adding some additional clutter, some books, and try to think of what else in this space. Have we put in a rug yet? Oh, I put in some like messy clutter on the floor. Sometimes I do that with kids' rooms. This that's Modern Luxe Kit rug was really nice. That rounded rug. It had like all the shades of the room. The pink, the grey, the white. So that was quite nice. So as I mentioned, there is a buffet table out here. And I've just put in some basic clutter. I put in a phone because why not? That's part of the game now. All right, this is the one bathroom that does come with this particular pack. And I wanted to make it very kind of like a standard family bathroom. I've gone with a shower tub combo. This one comes from Parenthood, I believe. It's colourful. It fits the bill. So gone in with a lot of the bathroom clutter kit in here as opposed to the Sleek bathroom. I just feel like this is a little bit more lived in and more family orientated. And yeah. All right, so I think we are just doing the final touches and we are live in game for the tour. Yeah. All right, so you enter in up those stairs and into an open area where you have the kitchen, dining, living, and a study nook. Used a ton of Lovestruck. You've got out on the porch, you have the guitar, you have an easel, you have like a little seating area, and yeah. You then go downstairs. You have the bathroom, you have a child's room, and a master bedroom. You have a chess table and kind of just like a foyer area there. You head out the back and you have your pool. You then have your courtyard space. And that is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.